Hey everyone, welcome to your math lesson for the week. We're on lesson number 27, and it's all about comparing decimals. All right, so how do we do this? This is the actual Google slide that you're gonna get. And basically anywhere you see red, you can double click to highlight it, and that's where you're gonna type your answer. So make sure you read all the directions. And remember, if you see red text, type your answer there. If you're stuck, remember to meet with me Monday through Thursday at 9:30, and we can try and figure out what you're stuck on. And make sure once you're all done and you filled in all these answers, do the iReady test on the iReady comprehension check. So shout out to Christian, Dakota, Jacob, Patrick, and Sam. They all passed their iReady comprehension check for last week's lesson. So nice job, guys. All right, so this week we are comparing decimals. Last week you learned that decimals are tenths and hundredths, which are fractions. And now you're going to be comparing them. So for example, here's a picture which shows 65 hundredths. This one shows 7 tenths. So often people will say, well, 65 is more than 7. But you have to remember that 7 tenths think of as being 70 hundredths. So right here, you see a red symbol. If I think 65 was greater, if I think 65 hundredths is less than 7 tenths, I put that. So I'm not going to tell you the answer, but hopefully you can figure out which one's greater, 65 hundredths or 70 hundredths. And then I'll just go through the problems really quick, and I'm not going to tell you the answers, and then we'll just do some practice ones. And I'll just kind of show you how you should be doing it. So you know how to compare whole numbers and fractions. In this lesson, you'll compare decimals. Use what you know to try and solve the problem. So here's your learning target for this week. You're just trying to compare 2 decimals to the hundredths by reasoning about their size. Kelly and Casey each buy equal-sized bottles of water. They drink some of their water. Kelly now has 0.5 of his bottle left. Casey has 0.4 of her bottle left. Who has more water left? So 0.5 is that. 0.4 is some amount of tenths. So then you can just delete the 2 that you don't want to use to compare. So one trick, remember, if you see 0.5, you want to really quickly be able to say that's 5 tenths or that is 50 hundredths. So being quick at reading the decimal as a fraction is going to really, really help you a lot. So if I see 0.4, I can say, oh, that's 4 tenths or that is 40 hundredths. That'll really help you when you're comparing. Here's a bunch of comparisons. So decide if each change would make the statement true. 0.73 is less than 0.48. So what you're going to do is drag a monkey over to your answer, yes or no, from the monkey bank over here. So if I put a 9 in the tenths place to change it from 0.73 to 0.93, will that make the statement true? So in other words, would 0.93 be less than 0.48? And if I'm reading it quick, I'm thinking 0.93, okay, 93 hundredths. Is that less than 48 hundredths? If I think no, I'm going to click and drag a monkey and put it on no. Dina's hotel is 1.03 kilometers from the beach and 1.26 kilometers from a museum. She uses this place value chart to help her compare distances. So the beach is 1 and 3 hundredths. The museum is 1 and 26 hundredths. Which location is a shorter distance from Dina's hotel? So here's where you type your answer. I think beach or museum is shorter because, and then you can explain why. Here's another true, false. Decide if each comparison is true. So you're just going to put one of these monkeys on true or false. So 0.2 is the same as 0.02. So again, if I'm reading these like fractions quickly, right away I see 0.2. I'm thinking 2 tenths or 20 hundredths. 0.02, I'm thinking 2 hundredths. I don't even have a tenth yet. So 20 hundredths, 2 hundredths. Are those the same? And then last problem. Sadiq walked 1.57 miles on Monday. On Tuesday, he walked 1.6 miles. Sadiq walked 1.05 miles on Friday. Which statement and reasoning are true about the miles Sadiq walked? So whichever one you think is true, you're just going to drag this little answer stamp over, put that on your answer. So this one, you're probably going to want to have some scratch paper so you can write these down and compare them. And again, remember, read them like a fraction. 1 and 57 hundredths. 1 and 60 hundredths, or 6 tenths. 1 and 5 hundredths. All right, and when you're all done, you can click this link. Remember, go to iReady and take the comprehension check. That's what I look at to see who is understanding the math. So each one of you will get a copy of this. And remember, so if you're stuck on something, just try and remember, here's our ones place. We have two new place values, the tenths and the hundredths. And it follows the same rules. So it takes 10 ones to make 110. It takes 10 tenths to make 100. It takes 10 hundredths to make 1/10. Each place is 10 times bigger. And so your trick for today, or for this week, if I see a decimal like 0.5, I want to really quickly be able to read it as 0 and 5 tenths, or 0 and 50 hundredths. So reading those quickly, being able to convert tenths to hundredths like that is going to help you a lot. All right, good luck. Make sure you do your iReady comprehension check. See you.